Okay, I'm going to test this. So basically, don't talk yet. What I'm going to do is mute my side so I can't hear it and then listen through my other computer. So I'm just going to mute my computer here. Testing live, guys. This cast's going to start any second. Mr. Manson, just making sure everything sounds okay. Let me know if my voice does not sound okay, guys, since those of you that are on the channel, that'd be very helpful. Okay, do me a favor, dude, and you start talking, will you?
Yeah, just mic checking. 1, 2. Hello, hello, little people out there.
Perfect, dude. That is absolutely sufficient. Thank you very much. And I'm going to actually cut this cast real fast so I can make sure that we are recording locally. Oh, we are. So I don't even have to cut it. Just look at this little orange pylon for those of you that are checking out the screen. Okay. So we're going to get this thing going. Are you ready to do this, dude?
We'll have to run and be back in a minute or so, but we're good to go. If you can just get my backstory and all that kind of crap going, and I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, that's perfect. So that's how we're going to start it. So let's just see here, make sure everything is solid. Checking the other computer.
Alright, I am AFK officially.
Okay, that'll work. Alright guys, this is going to be the best intro ever. Hello, Damia. Alright, here we go. Let's just fire this thing up. We'll start with the warm-up. It's just like before you work out. I was working out tonight, and you got to stretch, throw your arms around, get that blood flowing. So that's the purpose of the warm-up here, warm up this cast. First of all, I want to thank everybody who is here in the live stream. Thank you very much for coming. It's always nice to have you guys here, asking questions on the fly, giving the feedback, getting the feedback. I want to remind all of you, follow the channel. If you're not a member of twitch.tv, don't be a lazy sack, sign up, follow this channel. While you're busy clicking follow on this channel, I want you guys to also locate APOC TV, that's twitch.tv/APOC TV, and locate DF Pawn, that's DFPAWN. Okay, both of those guys have helped me out tremendously. APOC is always critiquing on the stream and helping me out in that regard. And DF Pawn drops in to moderate and kick fools out. It's very funny. It's awesome. Talk some shit, he'll boot you. So follow them, follow me. When you do follow me, you'll get an email whenever I go live. That's always fun in case you're confused about my 20:30 PST start time or 8:30 p.m. PST. If you're not sure what PST means or whatever, you don't want to do the math, totally understand. Just follow the channel. You'll get the email. Sweet times will follow. All right, that's enough of the warm-up. Oh, no, there is a little bit more to the warm-up. I want you guys to head on over to mmosmacktalk.com. Over there we've got, and I'm actually going to list these by who's been the most active right now. We've got me, I'm the VPR Cast, so you see that little box, click it. That'll take you into my subsite. You can see the comment section. Brutalize me. Bring it, bitches. Secondly, the second most active is the Sandbox. Check their podcast out. I have to say, I think a lot of people who like Darkfall would definitely enjoy the Sandbox. So definitely look into that. Give Coolit and Quint a hard time. The third most active currently on the MMO Smack Talk domain is Yak. Go check him out. He does a show with a dude named Gestas. They don't talk about Darkfall at all unless they're blasting it, so you might want to go and fucking grief them. But they do talk about other games you might try play, like Tribes, Ascend, and some other miscellaneous shit. Realm of the Mad God. I don't know. So check him out. Then we've got Kalari. She's been the least active. Kalari. Let's get some cast going, sister. So check her out. She talks a lot about Dungeons and Dragons online and miscellaneous MMO news. Every one of our casters tells it like they see it. They just speak honestly and from the heart. So whether you like that or not, just go fucking listen. Download their links. Have a good time there. Engage us. We like to engage you. So now on to the intro for this cast. We're going to fire it up. Welcome to our 110th MMO podcast at mmosmacktalk.com. Tonight we are joined by, honestly, by the most popular man in Darkfall, by some of the precast reviews I was getting, and well-loved Aussie, Gestas, who is currently, unless you aren't, say it, but is currently AFK for the moment. We will shortly get into his bio, which will ask him his age, the country he's from, I just told you, so maybe we'll ask the province, as well as his favorite MMO, kind of get a little background light on that. Then we've got some talking points. If you're looking at my screen right here, that we're going to go into. There are other notes not included here, such as the latest on Darkfall UW. You know, I can't believe it escaped me, but I just saw something today, and I'm going to check this out. You guys probably are sorry. Some of you guys are fucking on this shit. Let's see if this is right. dfstuff.com. Oh, God. Hope that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right, you know what I did not see? I cannot believe it. I was talking to some dude on the phone. He actually called me. I was in the middle of hardcore programming, just knocking out some righteous code. And this guy calls up and he's talking about feats and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And where is it? Oh, it was one from 5 days ago. These guys are on the ball here, aren't they? It's after the video. Anyway, the one about the feats. Kind of. Oh, this is it right here. Right here. We're going to talk about that a little bit if he doesn't show up. Gestas doesn't show up in a moment here. Also, for those of you that don't know, aren't checking your email, haven't signed up on the UW site for their emails, you're not following them on Twitter, you're not on the forums, if this is your first interaction with Darkfall in a week or so, what you need to do is go to Steam, do a search on Unholy Wars. You're going to see Darkfall. They're trying to get on there. Make sure you greenlight that shit, all right? We want to make sure Darkfall gets on Steam. I know some of you guys in the forums are saying it's a bad thing. Others are saying it's a good thing. For those of you that say it's bad, guess I don't care because I'm pro it. I want them to be exposed to the largest player base possible. As you know, these guys have put together an awesome product, and I think that they deserve a huge following for it. I don't know, you know, in the past their marketing has been crap. Looks like with Unholy Wars, they're starting to pick it up. We're seeing it rev up. And if they can get on Steam, it's just going to be that much better. I'm going to look at the chats right now before we get started here. Well, we are started, but before we engage Gestas, he had to AFK a moment. So I'm going to look at the chat and see what's going on. See what people are saying. Leaning over my other computer here. Oh my, lots of colors in this chat channel already. We've got Reach ST, test, perfect, test out. All right. Okay, so Lycidius, you asked who's this guy we're interviewing. This is Gestas. I think he's also in the channel with you when he returns, but you'll see Gestas BOD. Most popular dude in Darkfall. Oh, Damia, you're saying you thought tonight was Zafix. No, Zafix will be, and I got to write that guy, Zafix. I don't even know if you're in the channel here, but I plan on hitting up Zafix and hopefully Expire, getting a nice dual cast with those dudes this weekend. We're looking at Saturday. I think it's 4 p.m. That's 1600 if you do the world time, PST. And the reason is Expire is located in Korea, so there's a 14-hour difference, and Zafix willing to work with it. So hopefully we can pull that together, and we get these two just fucking tomes of Darkfall to battle it out. That's what I'm gunning for. So, you know, compare the information. I'll just arbitrate and moderate, and we'll see where we land. So that'll be really fun for those that want to show up then. But I do believe this Saturday is... Oh, no, it's not. I was going to say I thought it was going to be the Darkfall thing, but that's tomorrow. Tomorrow, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I believe Tassos is doing a live interview with MMORPG.com. It's going to be a readathon, so they're going to read pre-approved questions, I believe, posted by the community. And we'll get some of those answered. The most important thing will be to hear Tassos' voice as he just soothes us. He works us all over. Listen to his harmonies, his vocals. Can't wait for that. I actually might not be able to tune in, but if I can, I will. Proceeding back in the chat channel here. Let me actually pull this up over on the main screen. Got to quickly mute this ad though. Already muted. Very nice. Let's go into the dashboard. Get a broader view. I'm not going to have all the chats over there, so I got to continue on my other computer for the moment. Okay, so you thought tonight was Zafix. We just answered that. Reach saying that we're interviewing Gestas is a joke. Reach, you're next. We're going to have you on. We'll see what happens. All right. Ryan, what do you think about Darkfall getting onto Steam? That was by Charlie's Manson. Well, I just addressed that. I'm a little slow on the chat here. Damia, you say you didn't get an email from AV about Steam. That Okay, you guys tell me if anybody did get the email. You got to say it, but otherwise, maybe that is for the press release. I got into their email for press releases, which is actually kind of funny because I often get an email about new footage and images and whatever about 2 days after we see it on Twitter. So it hasn't really served me well. But perhaps that's the way it came through. I'm not sure because I'm also signed up to receive their newsletter. If you're not signed up, go to darkfallonline.com. I think it's then /Unholy Wars. Let's see. Oh. See if that's it. Okay, that's it. That'll work. Darkfallonline.com /UW. You'll see here there is a place to sign up for news. I believe that's why I received the email. So if you haven't done that, then definitely go sign up there. You're going to want to. Why? Because you get news 2 days late. All right, let's see here. Okay, so looks like Reach agrees with the Steam thing. So does DM Simo. Lycidius. Oh, you're waiting for the noobs interview? It's going to be good. I talked to this guy beforehand, and here's the deal, man. Is Darkfall is made up of casuals, of factors, and of non-factors. And if somebody has something that might be engaging or interesting to listen to, perhaps offer some insight, then that's why we have them on the cast. I will have just about anybody on, and I've been starting to screen, so if they sound like they're going to be a dirtbag or something, then I bail. But... aside of that, yeah, we're looking for anybody. And I have some names that you will recognize coming up on future casts. I have some in the works. And, we're just trying to schedule as much as we can before the release of UW. And by the way, I don't think I mentioned it in my last cast. I'm okay with UW being pushed off till 12/12/12, the alleged new launch date. That works out for me because I had so many casts I wanted to do talking about regular Darkfall and the upcoming UW stuff that I was really fighting to squeeze it in. This gives us more of a relaxed approach. Okay, it's Wretch. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, Reach. That's a little tough, right? So Wretch, I can do that. So Wretch says, I'm incensed. How the hell does this dude get the title of most popular dude in DF? I'm just kidding around, man. I do a lot of sarcasm, happy sarcasm. Nothing's meant to be mean or really poking and prodding, just having fun with everything. I don't know Gestas outside of having spoken to him and, some email communications with the guy. Seems like a good dude. I've read some of his posts on the forums. Looks like he might incite a small riot with a few of you. And that'll be funny. But in talking to him, he's got some things to say. Maybe you'll be interested, maybe you won't. Hopefully you hang out and you engage him in the chat channel. Or, of course, you can hit him up in the Darkfall forums after I post the MP3 and just wreck him there, whether you listen or not. Just make shit up. All right, so Utu, anyone else in beta? Yes. There is somebody else in beta. All right, I'm reading the, okay, so Dami got one YouTube vids and the newsletter. Yearly win, okay. What do we have? All right, these casts are so enjoyable. Good job. Hey, you know what, Charlie Manson, thank you very much. I like to do it. I like to talk to you guys. I don't always put on a perfect show. I probably put on a shitty show most of the time. But all this is me talking to you dudes. That's what we do here, and I have a good time doing it. Gestas, are you there? He's not here. That's okay. Let me talk to you guys directly. I've got something that I want to talk to you guys about that, like I said a moment ago, I just realized that this was, this is something I just hadn't even read before. Thought I'd click the link. Had to take a sip there, guys. Drinking this great whiskey. It's called Knob Creek. I don't know why, but I have been enjoying it. You drop 2 ice cubes in there, the rest is neat. It's not a bad thing. It's a good taste. Oh man, I'm really screwing up here. I thought, okay, here it is. This posting by Unolder, okay? Unolder, whatever. Let's check this out. Oh, by the way, I want to point this out. If you look over at my chat here, Dreadlord Cripey. He's going to be coming up on a cast. I was supposed to nail him down already, and he's wide open, man. This guy's wide open. He is one of the, if not the supreme leader of gentlemen. Some of you hate gentlemen. Some of you love gentlemen. Some of you don't even know who gentlemen are. But they are a huge multi-gaming community that will be making, according to Dreadlord Cripey, a large entrance into Unholy Wars. So that's going to be an interesting cast if we could do it before UW. If we have to do it post UW, we're just going to talk about the splash he made or didn't make. I'd prefer to hit him up beforehand, though, so we can do a follow-up interview. You know, it's nice to hear the grandiose visions and then actually see what happens. I mentioned this in one of my earlier casts. I was listening to, God, I think it's Thrill Kill. And let me actually pull this up to show you guys the link to the site. Okay, where the fuck is it? Oh, Murdering One Another. Okay. This site, guys. Check this out. Go here sometime. Listen to these casts. All right, these are MP3s you can download, and you'll hear. I think they only did 6 of them. They're pretty funny. They talk about. He's asking, dude, what are your plans for Darkfall? How's it all going to unfold? And listening to these and then seeing what actually happened is just so fucking awesome, because some of these guys got seriously spanked. So you'll have to check that out when you're bored. You know, after you listen to my background noise at work, check that out. murderingoneanother.blogspot.com for those of you that are doing this in the podcast, listening to MP3. Going back to this DF stuff, the dev tracker, in a moment here, I want to discuss this post from 5 days ago, which was on the forums. I ignored it because I thought it was just, you know, more bullshit about the GUI, the GUI video. However, I feel like I learned something I didn't from there, and I felt that this post was worth a read, and naturally it lends to quite a bit of speculation. So we're going to hit that up in a moment. I'm just going to glance over here at the chats and see if there's anything that needs responding to right now. If not, we'll move right on to that. Wretch, you're making me laugh, dude. It's okay. You know what? Guest of honor. I love you. That's totally okay that he had to step out. And if the worst case scenario, there's a complete bail scenario, it's not a big deal. I might even be able to hit up Dreadlord Cripey right here and get this gentleman cast rolling. Or I can go solo, because there's a lot. There's just so much to discuss, and we can pull up the forum pages and go from there. You know, there's one post about somebody speculating that there's 192 skills to attain. I think there might even be more than that. And by the way, he's probably including feats there. But there's a lot that we have not seen. So 192 is likely conservative. Okay, so let's see what other chats we have here. Devilhawks, cold feet. I don't know if he got cold feet. He had to, you know, sometimes you just got to do things. Like in an hour or so, I'll take a piss. And if he's here, he's going to just run his mouth off at you folks while I'm whizzing. Pichu, you can listen to the old... Okay, thank you very much. I skipped Celaya because he is a dumbass. Rest for good. Ultu, you should check it out. If you listen to the Celaya cast, or the Celia cast, here's what I'm going to recommend. Or I'm going to forewarn you about. In the first half hour or so, there are some... speech, how would you say this? How do you phrase it? Speech catches, things that catch your ear that you might not be too pleased with. And I don't want to just call them out to you, because then you'll be looking for it and then it'll really ruin your listening experience. That happens for about the first half hour. After that, it very much smoothens out and you just get raw Celia Ailey just rocking your lobes and nailing your eardrums to the wall. Okay, so it is definitely worth it. And later on in the cast, I don't remember if I think it's past the 2-hour mark, we start talking about the limbo system, you know, which right now it seems like it's a Zerg multiplier, Z multiplier. You know, so if you roll in with a 100-man force and you've got some rich finance behind you, or let's say a 300-man force, roll up on a 20-man hamlet. My God, if Limbo is the way we're expecting it, and the people have enough money, and there's no diminishing returns in terms of cost or where you respawn, then it is definitely a Zerg multiplier. But as Expire said in the forums, I agree, we're just going to have to see how it actually plays out. You know, sometimes speculation it goes a little overboard and people get hyperbolic, and it just doesn't play out that way. So we're going to have to see what happens with the limbo system. Naturally, we're all very curious about that. Let's see these other chats here. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to actually now head on over to DF stuff, what we were looking at before. As a reminder, for those of you that just showed up to the cast, check out murderingonanother.blogspot.com. Check out these podcasts. These are pre the release of Darkfall 1. I guarantee you will laugh at least a few times in these casts. If you don't, I would be surprised. And you have to actually tell me. Say, dude, you're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, man, I'm sorry, dummy. You know what? That was actually my water. I have water and whiskey with me, and then usually a cup of coffee. However, I forewent the coffee this time just because sometimes it makes me stay up too late. I will mute the mic next time I sip it. That's incredibly rude. Sorry about that. Okay, and by the way, for those in the MP3, Dami is not saying it's rude, but it's just making me think that. All right, let's move on to this Darkfall Unholy Wars interface video posting. This really captured my attention, and I want to see what the feedback is here. Of course, I could look at the forums, but my God, sometimes it just gets littered with crap, and people don't always, you know, explain thoroughly what they're thinking. But a few things that stand out to me naturally. One of them, the first one, should be the feat system. And reading this, you almost want to be impressed by it. But what I don't understand is when we actually look at the video and you pause it when they show the feats, I feel like you're just collecting badges and points. So what's the big deal? But then they go on here to say that these points are then converted into a personal player point currency that you could spend on various skills and items and stuff like that. You know, and in speaking to my buddy earlier who called me in the middle of my workday, which was actually a very good conversation. It went on for an hour, and I was thinking, my God, we should have recorded this because there was some solid speculation content, and it was very nice. But something that he had heard, and it doesn't precisely mirror what we read here, so perhaps you guys can give me some feedback. He mentioned that as a crafter, for example, as you accrue these player points, you'll be able to buy scrolls and recipes that other people won't. Where did he get that from? Is it right here, and did I overread it? I admit I did skim it earlier. I didn't read it in depth or really try to understand it on a personal level. You know, maybe I'll print it out and sleep with it under my head tonight, but I'm not seeing that. So if anybody has an idea or can confirm that you'll be able to use these player points, this personal currency, to buy basically spells or crafting recipes that nobody else has, I think that's a pretty interesting turn or deviation from Darkfall. Looking at the chat to see if anybody has answers on that. And I don't. No, it doesn't. Okay, Old2 confirms it. That doesn't say that. No, Lucidius. He is not in beta. Dude, if anybody is in beta, I'd be surprised. You know, especially after that luck interview. He had us going for a while, didn't he? You know, but the only thing is, everything he was saying you could get from the forums. Nothing was deep and concrete. There was one point, if you listen to that interview, where I was trying to drive on a point there and get him to divulge it, but he wouldn't. And I guess that should have been our clue right there that he's really not in it. But that was a fun discussion anyway. But coming back to this, dude, Old2, bullshit. You wouldn't be listening to this cast if you're in beta. I'm not buying that. I wish I could buy it. If you were in beta and you could send me like screenshots right now, dude, I'd be like, fuck, Skype up, bro. We're doing this now. That'd be, I mean, we'd be on it. And fuck, got my got my balls tingling now. Beta talk. Love beta talk. I love real talk. I can't believe it. 12/12, guys. It's just around the corner. Unfortunately, it's on Wednesday and I'll be working. I was tempted to take some time off, but I'm not sure it's worth it at this point in time, especially if they push off again. You know, just in case. You never know with these guys. Love them as much as I do, and trust me when I say I do. I'm going to take a sip real quick. I'm going to go dark for half a second. You totally tickled him, Old2. And As a man, if you're a man, I'm not sure that I really appreciate that. Yeah, no kidding. Devilhawk says, pre-book the day off. Tell the boss you may have to go to a funeral. Dude, she would ruin me. But I have a pretty sweet job anyway. Don't want to jeopardize that. So here's the deal, guys. Jumping off this beta discussion real quick. Gestas, are you there? If he is not there within the next 3 minutes, I might bail on this cast and try to hit it up with somebody else who might be available. I'm just going to check out Cripey here. That blows my whole introduction, though. All right, let's see here. Here we go. All right. Dude, you there. I'm just telling the guys in the MP3 what I'm saying. I'm now sending a chat out to Dreadlord Cripey in case he wants to talk right now. And the guys who are watching the channel, they can see me type, obviously. It's cast now. Bro. Gotta tag a bro on there. Works wonders. He could be up, grabbing something to eat, taking a whiz. We do see that he's not set to a whiz, so hopefully we can get some action on that in case Gestas does not show up. While I can run a solo cast, it would be a lot more interesting to do it with somebody, especially since we have you guys here. I should say, broski, you're right about that all too. Kind of messed up there. Charlie Manson, you're available? Okay, wait a minute. Somebody just chatted me. Oh, there he is. Okay. Let's bring you in. Okay, I'll tell you what. Charlie, you want to come in, and if we do get Gestas on, you can do your whole I'm getting quiet now thing and whatnot. You want to do that? You just say yeah again. You say yeah, let's just double confirm on that. We're going to get Charlie Manson in here, folks. He's an Irish dude. He's up very early in the morning just to listen to this cast. We appreciate it very much. So, Charles, Mr. Manson, confirm. Are you getting cold feet too? You running off? Fleeing the verbal altar? Fuck it, I'm calling, bro. See what happens to you. Oh my god. Okay, I hit this button here. Add to conference call. Maybe gotta hit that one. Fuck! They changed this interface up. Alright. Here we go. Oh. Manson, okay, Manson, are you there, bro?
Hey man, how's it going?
Okay, let me tell Cripey that might be off. Just give me a second so I don't stutter step over everything. I'll tell you what we can do right now. How about you give us first of all, your age. Tell us your country. We know it's Ireland, but tell us in your own tongue. And then tell us your MMO history while I chat, and those of you who want to read it, expand the screen. You can read what I typed to Dreadlord Cripey, while Charlie Manson answers some questions. And he, by his own admission, he's not a high-profile Darkfall player. He's more or less a casual. But go ahead, Charlie, give us your bio, will you?
Yeah, just kind of a non-factor, but yeah, I'm from Ireland. My MMO history is Star Wars Galaxies and Darkfall. That's pretty much it. What else did you want to know?
Okay, so tell us, okay, you played Star Wars Galaxy, Darkfall. How about you give us your age? And I like to ask the age question. That way we can get some perspective, maybe
all right.
What you've seen of the world and where you're at.
Yeah, I'm in Ireland. I'm in Dublin. That's the capital. And 26.
Excellent, dude. Now, tell me, Darkfall. I want to actually jump into Unholy Wars pretty quick here with you. But what's your experience in Darkfall? You call yourself a non-factor. I was a non-factor. I was totally casual. But every time I talk to a factor, check this out. Every time I talk to somebody who would be a factor, calls himself a factor, or I read their spew on the forum and I get them on the show, or I talk to them, I rarely ever learn anything new. I've had dudes say, you know what, you're missing all this, you're missing all that, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not going to tell you who has said that, and I have had some of those people on the show, get them on the show. Guess what I learned? Fucking nothing. I've been everywhere, dude, and well, just about everywhere. There are people, though, that have been more than everywhere and can share, but I'll tell you what, I've yet to actually meet the person that teaches me something new. So my point is to you, dude, being a casual player, you can know just as much. The things you won't know as much about, truly the intricacies of sieges, which I don't know the ins and outs of that, and you might not be on top of the latest clan politics, but in terms of game mechanics and what you think they should improve and how you enjoy your player experience, you are just as well certified to discuss those topics as anybody else. So feed us your Darkfall experiences. I want to know how it felt when an Irish lad logged in for his first time into Darkfall EU. Tell us when you logged in the Darkfall cycle, and then what that experience was like. While you do that, I'm typing to Dreadlord.
Okay. Well, I got into Darkfall the very first day it came out, and the minute I got in, I rolled an orc, and I walked outside the player city, and there was a bunch of humans killing the orcs and the goblin spawns, and I was like, oh my god, I love this game. And I went up and I robbed some guy's horse, and I was hooked from there on. But yeah, so as you say, I don't have a lot of experience with the sieges, and I've never really stuck with a clan or anything, so I've got no clan affiliations on EU or NA, so...
Holy crap, sorry guys, I'm back. I
Oh.
just did the most running around you would not believe.
Gestas, excellent. Okay, I almost lined up a backup for you. We had Charlie Manson join us here to fill in some dead space while we were waiting for you to finish your errands up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have Charlie finish his thought, which is he's telling us about his background in Darkfall, what it's like when he first joined, and his experiences with Darkfall kind of in the beginning. And while he does that, so if you need to step away and finish anything up or catch your breath, by all means do that. So you continue on, Charlie, and I'm going to just let Dreadlord know that Gestas is back and that we're definitely doing the show as is.
Yeah, nah, I didn't wipe, bro. I fucking ran.
Some guy in the chat there saying no one had horses back on day one. I'm pretty sure I was there on day one, and there was a bunch of humans fighting outside the city, and yeah, I took a horse. I don't know if it was definitely the first day, but I think it was. Yeah.
Sorry, bro, was typing. Yeah, no, continue on. Okay, so continue on with your story. Give me like 5 minutes. You just tell your tale, and then we'll move right on into Gestas.
Well, let's see. Yes, first day of EU, I was running around killing goblins and stuff like everybody else. What did I do? And then, yeah, I just played along the game, and I didn't really ever get into a clan or anything, as I was saying earlier. I kind of just was solo for a long, long time, and then on EU, I got into a guy named DJ's clan, DJ Terrorize. He kind of ran oh god, I think it was a horde they were calling EU, and somebody in the chat says, "Get this Irish guy off," which is fair enough because I suppose this is Gestas' cast, and I was kind of only a backup.
All two. Okay, here we go. All right, Charlie. Here's what we're gonna do. This is where we're gonna pick up. We're gonna continue now with the Gestas cast, who is the most popular man in Darkfall. And Charlie, as we move through this cast, you're welcome to stay on the line by all means. If you want to call Gestas out or anything, like you're like, no, dude, you're full of fucking shit. I am Charles Manson from fucking Dublin. Eat a cock, and here's how it really happened. If you want to do that, then by all means you may interject, but otherwise, you just stand by and give your opinion as it comes to you. How's that sound, Charlie?
That sounds great, man.
Okay, Gestas, so you ready to roll with this cast, bro?
It's good to have you on as well.
Cool.
We ready for this, Gestas?
Yeah, we're fucking ready. I might as well have had a shower. I'm sweating so much. I was literally running non-stop from when I left.
So the question is, are you a big boy or a skinny boy?
In what respect?
Are you larger around the waist?
No, I'm actually pretty fit.
Oh, okay.
Got abs, all that kind of shenanigans.
I'd like it better if you were a fat man, because then there'd be more sweat
So
and
would I.
more
I wouldn't
pain
have
to your
walk
toil.
around as much. Pick up CDs, that kind of thing.
All right, so you missed my intro, and I'm just going to give it again. So if anybody wants to just sort of pretend like you just joined the cast, Ratchet, love you. All right, if anyone wants to pretend like they just joined the cast, here we go. This was your intro that you missed the first time, bro. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
It's not that good. Here we go. Welcome to our 110th MMO podcast at MMOSmackTalk.com. Tonight we are joined by the most popular man in Darkfall, despite what Wretch says, and a well-loved Aussie. Gestas, welcome to the cast.
Glad to be here, man.
All right, dude. So let's start off with your brief bio. I want you to give us your age, country you're from, since we know you're Aussie, maybe the district, if somebody can affiliate themselves with that, and then your favorite MMO. Also, you had mentioned earlier that you have some nice background to feed us, so by all means, it doesn't have to be background light. You want to give us a little bit more detail, feel free to roll with that. After we get through with your background, we're going to move into UW discussion, and after that, we'll reminisce on Darkfall if there's time remaining. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, bio us.
Alright, I am Gestas, or as some people like to call me, Luke. Hi there. I am 24 years of age. I hail from Sydney, Australia. And my favourite MMO, apart from Darkfall, would probably have to be Ultima Online.
What other MMOs have you played? Give us a little bit of your history.
Gaming history. Well, basically I started playing computer games about the age of 6 when my father introduced me to the computer. I was playing multiplayer Doom and Rise of the Triad online via phone line. Yes, at the age of 6. Then we went on to Hexen and all sorts of Super Nintendo and Mega Drive all through the years. And I was lucky enough to actually, my grandparents owning a video game store with an arcade in there. And I had the keys for all the machines, so I had infinite credits. And my father owned a video game store, so, you know, I had all the consoles, everything. It was banging out the games, man, all my life.
Dude, your grandparents owned an arcade?
Hell yeah.
I'm actually kind of jealous of that. You know, that makes me think of something I just bought recently. You know, we've got the Wii in my house. I've got small children. Those who listen know that. I just recently bought Golden Axe 2 for $5, and playing it with my kids. I just kept thinking about going to the arcade when I was younger, and you know, just getting spanked, losing quarters. Now I don't get spanked. I fucking rip that game in half. But yeah, man, I cannot imagine, you know, if my grandparents owned an arcade. What were some of the titles they had that you were playing back then? Yeah, Genesis, Damia.
It would have been crap. Street Fighter 2. There was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the side-scroller co-op beat-em-up. You know, Double Dragon, House of the Dead. A bunch of shit, man. A bunch of these old-school racing games that were like wireframe. I remember this one that had a big-ass seat and vibrations on it. It was the first one I ever actually sat down into a game and played it. That was pretty awesome.
Dude, those arcades back in the day, they were so cool. What's crazy is you go hop on one now and you're like, this is fucking gay.
Oh, yeah. You got those sim pits and everything that full, like, turn you like you're actually in a car and everything. It doesn't compare.
Yeah.
But back when I was, like, 7, that was the shit.
Yeah, how crazy it is our perspectives change. You know, and speaking of perspective, that, you know, that's one thing that Darkfall has done to me, can't say done for me, is fucked up my perspective of MMOs. Not necessarily of MMOs with deep, rich PvE or storylines, but MMOs in terms of how I want to play them, which is FPS and with like freedom of movement, being able to jump up on a fucking hill, not hitting the invisible wall, and all that stuff. So tell us more. So you grew up with arcades, you were plugged in online. Your fucking dad was obviously treating you like a little emperor, hooking you into the games. How did you progress from there? And what was your first MMO?
From there, it basically went into the teenage years. I got into high school, started playing Anarchy Online on my father's account. That was the first MMO I ever played. And from there, it basically... Hang on, no. Keep pressing a button. Yeah. Apart from that, it was basically Anarchy Online, and I was playing when Half-Life came out. That was all the rage at that point.
Dude, I remember when I got Half-Life in the orange box. Did you get it then, or did you get it later when, you know, digital downloads and stuff were happening?
Oh no, Half-Life 1 did.
That's what I'm talking about. Half-Life 1. Originally, it came in this beautiful orange box. I mean, that's what drew me to it
Oh no,
in the store.
I didn't get the orange one.
Oh, see? Fucking kids these days. All right, dude. And here you are.
How old are you again?
I'm 37. So fucking most everybody here is a peewee. But that's okay. I love the fucking peewees, and they work me online. That's the thing. By the way,
Actually,
I'm gonna
now that I
jump.
think about it, yeah, and it had the lambda symbol like etched on the front of it in orange. Yeah, I did get that orange box. Now that I think about it,
Oh, there you go. And I
I
gotta
got
stop.
the Gearbox's Operation or Op Force or whatever the hell it was. I can't remember right now. The expansion for that was awesome.
Now, I gotta say, I gotta quickly apologize. I called everybody a peewee, but Devil Hawks is 1 year my junior, so take it back. All right, dude. So what I wanted to say. Okay, this talking about Half-Life, and you know, when I was getting off on my high horse, calling people youngsters and whatnot, you young whippersnappers. One thing that is true is I get my ass fucking owned in Darkfall. So I kind of want to start off our Darkfall talk with this, and I do have some points to read off to you in a moment, and this is not one of them. In Darkfall, dude, I get worked. I don't care who it is. I think I've won like 4 fights. So mass shame eternally on those dudes' families and their families' because, you know, I beat 4 guys ever. But when I play games online where everybody starts off pretty much equal, like, you know, a Battlefield game or Chivalry, I can usually score at least in the middle to within the top 3. Like with Chivalry, I haven't hit number 1 yet, but I've been in number 2 slot, number 3 slot. But in Darkfall, man, I can't kill anybody. So what's your luck with Darkfall, and what do you think about that? What is the reason for that?
I wouldn't really say it's luck. It's more like how would I put that? I just guess knowing when to run the hell away from someone. Knowing when to retreat is always a good idea.
No, that's absolutely true. And, you know, Devil Hawks, he's saying you weren't using the proper macros. I totally agree. But it's not just all about macros. I told a story a while ago where I was in, I just come back from a Darkfall hiatus. And this, by the way, this story happened about 6 months ago, okay, or less. Came back from hiatus, and I was in the Nyasha dungeon with a buddy of mine. And he's a decent PvPer. When we play, dude, you know, like Team Fortress 2 or some of these others, yeah, I know, they're not the deepest skill and whatever. But still, if you're ranking like up there in the top of everybody, then it means you don't suck complete ass. And so this guy, he plays with me. We can rank, you know, it's not like we're always at the very bottom. Well, this guy, he comes into the Darkfall dungeon. He's naked. He's actually there. He's like on a lower level or something. He comes up naked and he starts working us. So we engage him. He's running away. I can't kill him. He's naked, dude. This dude is naked. A naked fucking orc running all through this dungeon, and he's just on it. He's got the perfect bob and weave. He's healing at the right time. He's jump spinning or whatever some rays on us and occluding my vision. And the dude is just on it. So while, you know, Devil Hawk says macros, sure, yeah. If you have an awesome macro chain, that's beautiful. But then you got to map that shit to your brain. You have to have Twitch to go with it. And an overall situational awareness, like what mobs are coming up, how are you going to weave through that room while dropping the attacks on me. And so that dude was fucking... Somebody's calling me.
Just let me stop you right there.
Stop me.
Many of you won't believe this, but I've never used any macros. I'm a purist when it comes to video games. I've been playing video games my entire life, and if I could, I'd play it with a goddamn controller if I wasn't so good with a mouse and keyboard.
Okay, so that purist thing, the buddy who I was playing with before, when we
You just cheat yourself if you use macros and that.
Dude, I don't hate myself. Okay, here's the thing. Ideally, and I mentioned this, I think, with Celia. Ideally, I think it'd be good if macros, if nobody were using them except to maybe fucking auto loot, and yeah, somebody says I don't like that, okay, fine. Or if you're using them to, you know, I don't know, swim or whatever. Let's just pretend there's a simple macro to handle a tedious job. So let's say tedious jobs we could, you know, write off to macros, but then all the other jobs, you know, like the real combat and stuff, you have to pretty much operate from a purist perspective. I am 100% into that. However, the fact is, the dudes who are fucking opening up your ass cheeks and just railing you, those guys are using macros. So if you like to just constantly give your manhood up without a solid fight, you're not going to use macros. Now, if you're going to be like king of the poor and fucking fight purists and whatever, then yeah, you feel good. You guys circle jerk and that's all nice. But if you're going to be competitive, it seems like everybody has those macros. You know, Celia, he was talking about having the Ray macro and how that made it so much easier for him to land those. And he's right. It is much easier, especially because Ray doesn't have a cast.
It does help in a bit with the Ray macro. It's like, because, you know, one twitch of your mouse on your hand while selecting a different Ray to attack could throw you off, whereas the Ray macro is bam, 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 it's done, you're on target, it's fine, and that's why I think Aventurin removed it and is more than likely adding in auto loot already. Just so everyone is on an equal thing and people don't have to use those macros. It was just, I think, bad game design.
Well, you know what? I don't want to call it bad game design. I was thinking about this today. Imagine this. And by the way, I don't have the exact number, and I'm not fucking the Darkfall nut that knows every single fucking, the count of every spell and every in and out, okay? I just know a lot about Darkfall, and that's sufficient. That's on the level with most of you, okay? But the thing about Darkfall is, if you have every spell and skill and you want to toggle between them, you do need some sort of, I don't know how they could have done this with an interface. I guess they could have because even if they made this like macro system, you would still have to engage that and it'd be complex. And I guarantee, given the complexity of even engaging that, some people would still write macros to engage the macros. In fact, I know dudes that have written macros to tie together macros and DLL files and whatnot.
I mean, if you can get one step ahead of your opposition, you know, you're already winning. And that's I think a lot of people's attitude towards this game, because it is such a risk-reward game. But people have to understand as well, they're just friggin' pixels, and the emotions and feelings you get from them are why people actually play this kind of game.
Right, but I have one point of contention with you. When you say they're just pixels, they're not. Because if I go grind out on some fucking goblins, which are pretty much...
I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, they're pretty much my tier.
Your time you put into it, yeah.
Yeah, that's my fucking soul.
Yeah.
Dude, my soul, my sweat. So I'm saying to my kids, get the fuck out of here while I kill some goblins and get some money, and I finally pay, you know, you to build me that Nathal sword of fucking death, a justice bringer, whatever, and I get it, and then fucking, I don't know, Ultu comes up and stabs me in the balls and takes it. That, you know what, I was telling my kids to get the fuck out, and I was grinding on that, so this is like very real, you know. And some people might say, well, you've got misplaced priorities, son. Okay, I'm being a little hyperbolic here, Bohemians, but you get the idea. It's real. It's a real thing. I mean, talking to you right now. Okay, I'm obviously not coding right now. If I was, I could be making some coin. But I'm doing something I enjoy, talking to you, and it's a very real thing for whatever it's worth. So playing the game is a very real thing, and to make it even more real, you see it all the time. It's funny, but you know, real friendships develop. People meet each other in real life. They find other things they have in common outside of games, and they do those things as well. So I can never sit easy when somebody says, you know, it's just a game, or what you gotta realize is you're playing pixels. No. Those pixels translate into time, right?
No, I totally agree. I actually, don't get me wrong here, I didn't mean the pixels themselves. What I meant by the emotions and everything are those connections you make with the people. That's what I was referring to. The time you put in for making friends and allies and enemies, and just the flavor that comes with the game from that is what I enjoy the most, not just the gold and the pixels and items and etc.
Okay, so you are a purist. How many fights did you win? And let's not lie to the public here.
Okay. Well, what are fights? Like, are you talking one-on-ones or sieges or?
Well, I don't care. Overall, how often were you killed on the field of battle and somebody else stole victory from your hands?
I'd actually say a good 60% of the time I'd lose.
50?
No, 60% of the time. The other 40% were, I'd say, better victories than I would have had in the losing fights, because all those victories were usually like sieges and such.
Now, when you say you didn't macro, that means you didn't stand in town and skill up any abilities.
At most, I was on the Blood Wall when I was AFK, and that was it.
Now, I'm going to tell you, that's like a manual macro. That's a manual passive macro, because you're raising skills by something else, somebody else doing the work to you.
Oh, I'll buy that. Okay, I macroed.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's not even a personal attack to you, because you're not taking this all personal, whatever. But some people really are anti the macros. And by the way, I am anti the macros. I realize that to actually win, you have to do something. You know. So there was the Blood Wall, and that's like, you know, macro-ish. So now, when we were talking, you know, we talked before the cast, and you wrote up some points and whatever. I forget exactly what it was, but I want to start off, you know, or move forward from here and kind of hit up my little bullet points and then hit anything you want to discuss. But you said there was some shit talking to be done. And I feel like you were saying that's with Screw Loose. I can't recall. Who is it that needs to be shit talked? And please deliver thine shit talk.
Oh, okay. That would be Dragonheed, the Supreme General of Vengeance, who was my peer of Vengeance. If anyone remembers the Khan Alliance and Vengeance with Sinister or anything. Yeah, Dragonheed, a big fucking douchebag, and he sucks many cocks.
Many?
Many.
Okay, why does he suck many, and how is he able to accomplish this?
Well, I'll quickly run through the story. I actually wrote this up this morning. Basically, I've got to change this bind. It keeps putting bloody hyphens in. Okay, long story short, I was Supreme General of Vengeance. He was Supreme General of Vengeance. There's a couple other Supreme Generals. And, well, drama basically started when I was assassinated on an island outside of Khan. And in retrospect, I actually think he hired the assassins to come kill me. Then from that point, since I was grinding down Infernal gear with 10k regs, grinding my magics and what have you on a bunch of fucking skeletons, yeah, he basically for the next 3 days was yelling at me, saying he's going to demote me to a private for losing Infernal armor and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And basically, yeah, he's a cunt.
Okay, so what is his name? Repeat his name.
Dragonheed.
So Dragonheed.
First name Dragon, last name Heed. H-E-E-D.
So
Not only that, we were in the Valhalla Alliance with Ihatu up on Niflheim, and we had Krizarok. I was in Horror Show at the time, my clan of 3 men. It was a 3-man clan. We go to Krizarok, and we see them getting sieged. Getting raided by a bunch of other guys. We go in, kill the raiders. Dragonheed's, oh, please fucking join us. You're so amazing. I'll suck your dick every day. Be a Supreme General, get your guys in the clan. Okay, bam, done. So I'm Supreme General of Vengeance now. He sells Krizarok, takes all the money for himself. We move in with Ihatu and Mamangruk. We buy Frost Coast. Then we're living in Frost Coast. He buys Seruk, joins up with the Khan Alliance without any of the other, as Supreme General says, sells Frost Coast, pockets all that money himself. Then eventually I'm called a drunk. I'm kicking people at random from the guild. I'm giving bad tactical advice. And by the way, at the Albleworth Dominion siege, I wiped Black Shields 3 times in a row. Screw Loose included. I remember chasing him down with Begons over water, and that was a lot of fun. But apart from that, Dragonheed basically said, yep, I'm going to demote you to private because you're a bad leader and you brought nothing but shame to this clan. So I basically said, look, I'm going to have to part ways now. Then he said I robbed their clan bank, blah, 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 and he started shit-talking about me until the servers shut down, pretty much.
All right, so I want to touch more on this Black Shield's wipe here. So you said you're chasing Screw down and whatever. How did this come about? Was it like 10 of you on him, or were you guys...
Oh, no, we were defending Dominion at the Albleworth. They were sieging it to take it. And we're in there, just, defending the walls and everything. Black Shield comes up. They've been hired to, stop us from taking Albleworth. And Dragonade's there, it's like, oh, Black Shields, we need to move in the walls, get better position. I was like, fuck you, you can't charge! Because that was the problem. Black Shield's power came from them never being charged. Everyone was afraid of them. As soon as you went toe-to-toe with Black Shields, they shit their pants and run.
Interesting. And how many times did you try this strategy? I mean, it could be. I saw one video with Screw battle calling, and I thought it was very good. I mean, they had their shit together. I'm like, fuck. And for anybody who
I don't believe I've ever heard any of them ever say Group 3 flank left or anything like that. It was either defend here or charge, and that's really bad battlefield tactics.
Dude, okay, if I had the link, I'd post it, but there's one where he's telling people, okay, if you've got this, let's queue it up, prepare to fire to the left about 100 meters or whatever, boom, and they lay waste that way. He said, okay, we're going to move forward to this area, then charge up this spell, lay it down, boom, and they're just taking ground, foot by foot, and it is a pretty solid video to watch. And
yeah, that would be one group, though. What I'm talking about is a multitude of groups with their own shot callers, and I'm giving battle comms to those groups.
Okay, so okay, tell me which guild again this was where you guys were cleaning the Black Shields up, treating them like bitches.
Vengeance. The same one that I was with Dragonheed and all that.
Now, how often did you guys run into the Black Shields? And whenever you did, was it pretty much Vengeance on top?
I'd say about once a week.
And who would top it? Who was mostly on top?
It was small scale fights. Like, they would come to Seruk just to raid and PK on Khan, that kind of thing. We'd go out, chase them down. It was pretty 50-50, I'd say. But in the large scale fights, when I was tactical command, no, they didn't stand a chance.
So in the forums, when Screw says, "Who is this guy? Is he just fucking around or what?"
Yeah, I think he is, because I know for a fact I have one-on-one'd him and killed him. And I'm pretty sure he remembers that fight because I was teabagging him and shit-talking him.
Excellent. Okay, let's move on. Now, unless you have more shit-talking, let's move on to the next point.
Oh, no, that's about all the shit-talk I've got. As I said the other day, man, I like to be the good guy. I don't like to shit-talk all that much, but Dragonheed, yeah, he's a fucking snake, man.
Have you been in contact with Dragonheed since...
Oh, no, I hope that cunt actually dies from, like, AIDS or cancer.
Oh, dang! You hate him in real life!
Yeah, I hate him in real life. He abused my kindness for 2 years.
Well, why did you stick around? You sound like a beaten woman.
Yeah, effectively, it's because I just wanted to make shit work. I thought we had a good dynamic with the clan.
All right, well, that's fair enough, but 2 years, dude. I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't take off with some dudes that wanted to join you.
Oh, it turned out he was trying to recruit my RL friends to leave me.
Oh, damn it. How did your friends take that?
They ganked him.
So then what point did you guys actually take off and bail from him? Why did it take 2 years?
When they lost Seruk, when he basically said, I have no control over the guild anymore, I'm effectively a private, but they can't demote me.
Nice. All right, let's move on then. Let's go on. Let's leave him in the past and go on to... Gosh, okay, some of these points might not make sense, so perhaps you can fill them in with color crayon. You mentioned when we were talking something about losing your Steam account. And by the way, for anybody listening, you're like, oh, whoa, this fucking Darkfall, the Steam account. We're kind of hitting some miscellaneous shit here because the real topic, ideally, is going to be just some brief Darkfall here. Get into UW, Darkfall miscellaneous, get into UW, and then if we have time, finish up with any Darkfall reminiscences or any other detail we want to cover. So going back to this, though, you'd mentioned a story about how you lost your Steam account. And your first DFO forum name, I have put a smiley face next to it, so I guess it was a funny tale or something that was supposed to be funny.
All right. Yeah. If you see the doco I posted to you, my names, my aliases, Malenko is one of them. I was on forum for since 03, since the inception, using the name Malenko.
Would anybody know you under that name?
Yes, if you go to the IRC channel, the official IRC channel, Will WH remembers me from then. And he's an operator on the IRC channel.
So all those people saying, "Who the fuck is this?" in your pre-cast build-up, they're just not. What's the deal with them? They're fucking with you?
No, I'd say they need to lurk more, and they haven't been around as long as they think they have.
I love Sewerfall. It is just fucking funny. People just tear each other apart. You know, I don't know if Ult is still in here, but he seemed to hold a particular ire against you. Okay, so let's see here.
Oh, well, that's his bag. You know, he can sit there whittling away his little knife all he wants.
You know, here's Ult. I'm just going to throw this at you, dude. So we've got Ultu. It says, Gestas thinks he's pro and that everyone knows him. Raffle, pretty naive. Okay, so I just had to throw in the shit talk because we got Ultu here hating on you. So,
who's Ultu, though? Why does he think he's pro and everyone knows him?
I know, it's crazy. Darkfall is so fucking funny, and this is not a bash on anybody, not you, not Ultu, but it's funny because I've run into situations where I've seen dudes like bashing other dudes, like they've been around or something. I'm like, fuck, I don't even know that name, because you know I take these little breaks from Darkfall. I've been in since near the beginning, and I have actual proof, you know, just via my cast. If you were to check out the archive and stuff, and I'll come in here and there, and I see a new name. And this is not Ultu, by the way. Ultu could be the fucking oldest dog in the book. I have no idea. But I'll see some name bashing, some new name bashing like some old name, saying, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm like, whoa, really? And, you know, and then it just goes on. I'll take another break. I'll come back and just somebody else bashing. So I love the fucking online dick measurements. It's always very fun. Darkfall has been very colorful with that.
Oh, it really has been, yeah. When you joined is your badge of honor.
I love it, dude. All right, let me get on
Speaking of which, I'm going to upload an image of... I actually saved the image where Will WH says he remembers me from 03. So I'm going to put that in the chat for everyone to see.
Now, who's Will W. Hatred?
He's a operator on the official IRC channel.
Would people know him? I mean, you know what? I've jumped in the IRC like twice back when the game was in development, and that was it.
Yeah, as an operator of the channel, he's basically an admin on there.
All right, dude. So you upload that, drop that in the channel. I'm going to queue up my next question for you. Okay. You know, I was talking to, gosh, who was it? I was talking to one of you guys that might be in this channel, as a matter of fact, on Skype or somebody else. Who fucking knows? But anyway, the point is, I was asking, what's your name going to be in UW? And, you know, they say, okay, here's my name. Well, what's your last name going to be? And that's the trick, dude. What's your last name going to be? And what are you going to do if you're a well-known player and somebody takes your first and last? Then what do you do? But my problem is I can't even fucking figure out a last name. The last name I used for, well, Darkfall originally was, you know, RRR, because I couldn't fucking think of one, and I'm not creative that way. And then when I took a break and came back, something happened where they did some sort of a cleanup, and it took me like a month to get back into Darkfall after I was supposedly returning because customer support was just jacking me. And then when I finally was able to get going, they said, well, we need a new last name. And then I gave them MMOST, you know, an acronym for MMO Smack Talk, which I hate that fucking last name, but, you know, I had to do something. So how do people come up with last names?
The way I do it is probably honestly just listen to some music.
Just listen to some music? Wait, you pick out a word and that's it?
Yeah, maybe a chorus from a song that sounds really groovy at the time, something like that. It's that simple, man.
All right, if I can't figure one out, I'm going to have to fire up some fucking hardcore songs and see what happens. All right, so now, while you're waiting for UW, what are you playing? What's going on? You just playing Forum Fall, or are you involved in any other games like Chivalry?
I'm playing War of the Roses and Borderlands 2 at the moment. Oh, and still Ultima Online, of course, on the hybrid server if anyone was interested.
What are you playing most of? I heard Borderlands 2 is pretty good. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's very, very funny as well.
Now, what's the draw?
I guess the humor in it is quite funny.
Okay, give us an example. I mean, you can't just leave me hanging. It's quite funny, and then boom, that's it. Like,
okay,
what's funny? Some guy grabs his balls and
here.
tears it off and throws it in somebody's face, or what?
Pardon? Pardon, I didn't catch that.
Oh, you don't want to catch it. It's a bad joke on my part. What kind of humor are they throwing down in Borderlands 2?
Oh, all sorts of things, man. There's basically a lot of references to like subculture and popular culture and that kind of thing. Like, okay, a good example, when you first meet Dr. Zed, you go in there and it's one of the bandits he's operating on with no anesthetic is basically screaming about eating babies. I found that pretty funny.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's not for me. I'm never into the, sometimes in some vents.
It is real slapstick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also a matter of interpretation. For some reason, I'm like sensitive to the whole, children thing. One thing I don't like, I don't like the thing about eating babies or any crap like that. Probably because I've had so many of them. But yeah, I don't know. How about the gameplay? Is the gameplay any good? Is it FPS?
It is. It's real fluid. Yeah, it is nice. I'd say it is. Yeah, I'd actually say it's real tight gameplay.
All right, you know what? Let's get on to, I'm just kind of going through my little notes here, and I have them in no good order. So people who are listening to this, just bear with bros and brohemias, because we're going to get into more solid Darkfall.
Put up.
We're going to get into more solid UW talk, but there's just some points I want to pull out. Like, you said that you're an aspiring game developer. In what form? Are you the designer, the programmer? Do you actually have a
I'm the
contract?
creative lead. I design all the mechanics for the games, and I think of what game is actually missing from humanity and what needs to be made. Almost like Michelangelo carving a statue. The statue's already in there, he's just freeing it.
Now, do you have a game that's actually in the works?
Yes, 42 of them actually. It's the meaning of my life.
Okay.
Of all types of genres, and the first one, I actually met the programmer a couple days ago that's joined our company, and the first game should actually be out on Android and iPhone in about 2 months, I reckon, tops.
Really? And what is this game?
It's a top-down shooter similar to Crimson Land, but more colourful.
And have they broken code yet, or did you just talk to him and he's going to start work on it, or what?
I've got to send him the NDAs first, then you get to work pro bono as well.
Pro bono? Is this just because he wants to add it to his credits?
No, he really likes what I have to bring. So he's all for the long haul and making a lot of money.
What's the
making
split?
A lot of good games.
What's the split?
Between me, the creative designer, the 3D artist, the CEO, the wild card, and the programmer, I'd say it's a good, probably about 35-40 to the programmer, because he's basically making it all happen. Yeah,
okay.
Pipe dreams in here now. Yeah, I've been working for about 5 years, and I've got 2 gigs of text documents.
Damn it! Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of fucking text, dude. So you said you're the graphic artist. Are you an artist, or do you just like slap together some Photoshop shit?
No, I just slap together shit, basically. I'm just trying to get the theme and the flavor and the mechanics all designed, and that goes to the other guys, and then they start actually making it, like making my vision of a gameplay come to fruition.
Do you have music?
Pardon?
Do you have any music or sounds for your game?
The first one we're working on, the reload, the perks that upgrade you, the different weapons you fire, will actually be the soundtrack.
What else? Is there anything else you want to say about that game?
It'll cost $2. Everyone fucking buy it. Make me rich.
Okay, and what's the name going to be so we can all buy it as soon as it releases?
Okay, I'll divulge this for you guys. No one try and fucking steal it. It's called Robo Pirate.
Rogo Pirate?
Yeah, Robo Pirate.
A Robo Pirate. All right,
Yep.
dude. So Robo Pirate is going to come out in about a month, and we can look forward to that on Android devices.
Yep, and iPhone.
All right, nice. Then
I like how Altu's fail name. It's like, yeah, bro.
Awesome, dude.
You
Well,
don't
I hope.
understand the double entendre. Please grow a brain, Altu.
Well, I hope you make some coin off that, man. You know,
So do I.
that's always a nice thing. You know, if you can make a game, design it, and actually have it published and make dollars off it, that's a sweet
We're
thing.
going to be our own publishers, but not only that, the main thing is we're trying to make good games, not just like what the Angry Bird guys did, reskins of a couple games and just, you know, go into hiding for a couple years.
Those guys made some serious cash, though.
Oh, they did. And we want to support this first game, you know, 20 years down the line, giving free updates and everything. So that's kind of our company philosophy, I guess you could say.
Now, before we move on and off your game topic, do you want to describe the gameplay, or do you just want to wait until it releases?
No, I can't. I shouldn't have even said this much already.
Yeah, you see guys in the channel who are getting nutty. They're stealing your domain. And you're going down, dude. Robo Pirate has to be renamed. Call it
Yeah, I was gonna call it what's his name? I think it was Captain Longdong and the Starship Starfish or something, and the Planet of the Busty Babes.
Nice.
So, you know, I've got a bunch of names if you guys want to steal any. It's all good.
We're going to do a separate cast where you just read off.
Gay-ass game for shit cunts. You're a funny cunt, man. I like you.
We'll just do another cast where you read off your 2 gigs of text file of names and fucking just work people over.
Yeah, we can do that. As I
Nice.
said, man, part 2, part 3, you know, get the trilogy going.
Attaboy. Real quick, I want to interject. Cypher, and you say, where's Dreadlord Cripey? I don't know if you're here earlier. When Gestas was out, we had him. He was kind enough to say, yeah, I'm ready. And just as he said he's ready, Gestas came back. So we're continuing on with this one. However, we're going to try to get Dreadlord Cripey on soon. So you're going to love that cast. Stay tuned. All right, Gestas. All right, let's go to the next question here. Did you happen to check out, and you must have, otherwise we're going to have to end this cast right now, but you saw the latest GUI YouTube video, right?
Oh, dude, have you seen the Brawler video? And the Steam greenlight? Get with the times, bro.
Oh, I know. I'm very excited about the Steam, and if anybody who can appreciate Steam and wants to make sure Darkfall
everyone
gets
in
on
the
it,
channel, go vote for that shit now. Or I will find where you live.
and you do not want him to find where you live.
Yeah, remember, I'm Australian, you know, crocodiles and bare hands.
He'll show up at your house. So let's go back a little bit further than the latest Brawler video, and let's start with the GUI video, okay? I just want to know what you thought. Did you give any detailed personal analysis to this, or did you just kind of read all the comments on the forums? What are your thoughts about that? Were you pleased with the video?
Yes, I really like the new GUI. I think it's a lot better than the original one with shit everywhere. But I think it's nice, streamlined, and I think it's actually going to keep a lot of players in the game. So they're not fighting the game to play it.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how that pans out. I mean, seeing some of the things that Celia said, as a matter of fact, regarding the GUI and the bank, and we talked about this last time, is, how is that all going to come together? I'm definitely curious about that. You know, banking, we're so used to the drag and drop and the coordinate system, and now it looks like we might have a collection of 15 items, which each item shown might have depth, as in items are in different bags, and so it's just showing you the total number. But it's also a nice thing to be able to glance at more than 15 items at once. Do you agree with that's how it's likely going to be, the bank, kind of 15 items, or do you think that there's another feature we're not seeing?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more we're not seeing. Because if you notice in the video, when they do swap it out, and people were talking about just moving them around the screen, if you notice, they fade away. So it's already there for like dockable movement and everything.
What now, some of the things people have posted about the feats and other items we saw in the GUI video that have not been specifically discussed by the devs or were not directly addressed in that video. Did you notice any that you have any thought on? Did anything catch your attention that might have eluded the rest of us, or that you might have some insight on?
Not really. I think it was just mainly the bag of crap which caught my eye, and the fact that the GUI does fade out and looks like it is dockable. I think the bank is going to be quite nice and more robust than anyone currently believes it to be. Like going up into different bags will show a different layer on top of that bank thing, like a different slider kind of thing. That's what I feel it's going to be like.
Did you happen to catch the It Was Luck cast by any chance?
I think I caught a little bit of it.
Okay.
I don't think I listened to the whole thing, no.
At some point in the course of him fucking with us, he mentioned that in his beta experience, Siphon, he was a dick in that, wasn't he? Sorry, I'm reading the chat, guys. Everybody listen to MP3. You got to join the live stream. Got some dudes that type some funny shit, share their own experiences. Siphon here says that It Was Luck as a dick, banned me from his mumble. Siphon might have been a fucking whore. Who knows? But he's saying this, so it's funny.
It's actually funny you bring up It Was Luck. If you saw on the forums, right now I'm suspended on the forums. I got banned for making an AV appreciation thread by brother Justin this morning. But
what?
If you see the Gestas NA upcoming podcast, what It Was Luck said about me was actually really awesome.
Okay, so you know Luck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna see about pulling this up right here. Unless they shut it down. Now, why did you get banned? I don't understand that. Why don't you tell us why I'm looking this up? Why did they ban you?
I posted the Zag raid video and called it everyone must appreciate Tassos's work and all this other stuff. All hail Tassos. And I spammed the Zag raid to get more views on it. Because, we got to hit 20k on that Zag raid, guys.
What is it? Was Zag raid? What is that?
I'll post it right now. One second.
I see I don't know if that's old too. Okay, here's It Was Luck. This is what he says about you. Okay, so he's taking on Turbinator. Is Turbinator in the channel? I feel like I saw that name. Let me just check this here real quick. Turbinator. I see Paragus Rants. By the way, Paragus Rants, he agreed to do a cast with me. So I hope to have him on here before, and I know this is off topic, sorry guys, but I hope to have him on before UW releases. I just saw his name there. I had to say hello to Paragus and definitely think about you, bro. Okay, so let's go back to what It Wasn't Luck was saying about you. Okay, and this is for Ultu. Ultu, I'm bringing it to you, bro. Okay, I'm pulling my pants down and saying suck it. Okay, here's what It Wasn't Luck is saying about our guest here, Gestas. Dude, stop. Guess is a good guy, and you know it. Have you forgotten when he picked all 8 of us up in Dwarflands and held our hand to Sorghum? Did you forget how Loke and Low LOB Legend rolled up on us 1 kilometer from Sorghum, and he fell back and sacrificed himself so we could bind in Sorghum before we died? He's a good guy. Is that a true story?
Yeah, I went up and actually got It Was Luck when he first logged in from Dwarflands and brought him down to Seruk. His first day playing the game.
Wow, what a deal! So did you play with him past that time, or was it kind of just?
No, because around that time was when Dragonheed started fucking with me and slandering my name and kicking people out of the guild and saying I was kicking them out of the guild and all this other kinds of crazy shit.
Okay, so let's get back to the bank conversation then. Now, It Was Luck in the interview or the discussion, whatever you want to call it, that I did with him, and he was saying that he was in beta, which we all learned definitively that he was not. One of the things he said that did catch my attention and made me think maybe he is, because I do not recall reading this anywhere, and and I was thinking even if he's not, I hope this is real, because this sounds like a solid idea. He suggested that you could make a template go bag, and in there you drag items, and perhaps they're even subdued, I don't know, or maybe you have to have had them at one point, but you drop these items in a bag, and that bag then would automatically be filled with the quantity of items, as long as they're in your bank and the bag's in the bank, they would be filled with the quantity of items that you pre-specified. So if you need a go bag, you prepare go bag 1. It's got 3 heal pots and a fucking wand in it, an Alfar mage staff, okay? That's it. Well, you just go to your bank. As long as those items are somewhere within the depths of your bank, you could just grab that bag, boom, drop it in your inventory, and you're off to go. So you don't have to spend time sorting through every single bag and drilling into the depths of hell. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because, frankly, I had so much shit in there. I would get lost at times in my own personal bank.
Yeah, no, that definitely. Who knows? I mean, I hope something like that is definitely in the game, but we'll see. You know, there's a lot to be determined or yet known.
Yeah, I really like the fact that, well, I don't know for certain, but I hope that they are going away from drag and drop, but they continue to leave a time on looting to keep the tension of looting in.
Okay, I am under the impression that they're definitely leaving drag and drop. Are you contesting that?
No, I'm not contesting it. I'd prefer it be left in, but at the same time, I can see why they would remove it.
You know, one thing they could do to overcome guys like me who wrote loot macros and used them for sure, and I did it because I'm sparing my fucking hands and my elbows and whatever from,
Yeah.
you know, overuse.
You're a coder, aren't you? Or a programmer, aren't you not?
Yeah, dude, I sit at a computer all day, and then when I go play this, it just brutalizes me. But one thing they can't do is...
From that respect, I'd understand that, and that's why I feel Adventuring would make a better choice, changing it from drag and drop, just so it is fair for everyone, so that people don't have to use said macros.
Right, and if it is just a double click on each item, but they set a timer on it, then you can still have the peril of looting there for those who want that.
Yeah, the tension for looting would still be there if there's time that takes to get items. That's the main thing with drag and drop that created the tension.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I was for the tension. I always am for the tension. And so people that say, yeah, you fuck, by you using this loot macro, you're destroying part of the game where we need to be able to sneak up on you while you're looting. And by the way, for all you people, I 100% agree with you. It's just something that I felt necessary, and I had to do it.
You gotta keep your livelihood, man.
I do.
Every human's different.
Now, one thing you had mentioned in our discussion is that you like to play Darkfall as a good guy. And in that discussion, I had noted that, yeah, it seems like the majority of players that I run across, you know, a lot of people like to play more the bad boy, the sort of the evil, the dark side.
Yeah.
So tell us what it's like playing the good guy and what form that takes in your playstyle.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm totally good. Like, I understand I have to kill some blues every now and then if they're pissing me off, you know. I'm not going to go, oh, that's okay, keep slapping me in the face, it's alright. Give me another, please, sir. No, I'm not, you know, I'll stab you.
So then what form does playing a good guy take? What do you do? Are you like, I spoke with Lord Zanel a while ago, and he had also mentioned, I don't know if I got this in the cast, that Uzik was also a, you know, he played as a good guy. They would help people. They would protect other, noobs from reds as they come around the city. Did you do stuff like that? Is that how you played a good guy?
Yes. If I was in an NPC city or just even an ally city or a friend city, and there was raiders coming in, they were red, bam, you know, I'll take them out. Even if they were blues, if they're raiding, they're doing something bad. Like if there's reds going around NPC towns, call out where the reds are, man. I'll fucking go over there and knock some sense into those guys.
Now, how high did you skill your dude up before the...
I pretty much maxed out my character.
All manual, or is this before the big skill gains were put into place?
The only things I would have got up on the big skill gains was my Necro Mastery and Arcane Mastery. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much done.
Nice. So, okay. So then you said earlier that you probably lost 60% of your fights. Do you attribute that to your not using macros or what?
No, I was just outnumbered.
All right. You also mentioned in our chat that you had some insight into early NA politics. And when presented properly, NA politics are... Well, I'm sorry, NA or EU, it doesn't even matter. But the politics of Darkfall can be very intriguing. what was your experience with early NA politics?
Well, as I said earlier about Dragonheed and Vengeance and all that, after all that shenanigans happened and I left them, I basically, I met up with a bunch of clan bank robbers. They would go in, send their guys into many different clans and rob their clan banks. So they got me in, they put me up to captain rank, thought I was a cool guy, so I robbed their clan bank. And that's playing a good guy in Darkfall.
How did you rob their clan bank?
Oh, I was just acting the bad guy, saying, yeah, I'll go trade gank with you guys, all that kind of stuff, you know, let's rub some fucking shit on people, you know?
How'd you convince them to...
stuff. And they basically trusted me enough to give me access to their bank, and I robbed them.
Well, what did you say to smooth talk them into giving you captain access?
Basically, I'd use the word faggot a lot and be really aggressive.
And that's what they liked, huh?
That's what they liked. They were playing them like a fiddle, man.
Well, to go with politics, there's also Forum Fall, which King Manus describes as a metagame that he engages in deeply, or did at one point. Do you engage in Forum Fall much, and do you do it as part of the game, you know, outside of the game, or are you just doing it because you're fucking bored and you're talking to people?
I'm fucking bored, man. I don't play Forum Fall. I'm playing Darkfall.
All right, let's move on to UW. Let's just get solidly in there and get some insights. Do you have insights for UW?
I suppose so.
Okay, I'm going to bring it to you then. First off, one thing that was lightly touched on was the contract system. How do you feel about that? I've seen some negative feedback so far, but I'm not so sure it's a bad thing. What do you think?
Hopefully we can put specific player names onto the contracts.
What else? What else are you looking forward to there? Or if anything?
In regards to contracts?
Yeah, absolutely. They mentioned...
Well, I'm going to be what I'm attempting to do is make a neutral clan, and which would just be a mercenary clan, so we'd heavily be using that contract system.
Now check this out. I'm going to try to pull Charlie Manson into this too. Are you there still, dude? Knew I'd catch him off guard. Okay, I was gonna just kind of open this up and see if he had any input on the contract system as well. Do we still have him in this?
Yep, he just said no, he's not here.
Oh, he said no, he's not here. Okay, fuck. All right, I would like a definite... You know, I haven't heard anybody speak about the possibilities of the contract system aside from myself, and I just want to compare thoughts. I think there's a lot of depth to what can be done with contract systems. Some people say we shouldn't have it. I am for it. And why? Excuse me. It's because there are certain rules and agreements that cannot really be arbitrated and handled in a video game mechanic without some sort of escrow system in place. And I think it was in one of my casts where we were discussing this that Screw Loose opined in the chat section that they'll just have a bad reputation. It might not have been Screw, but I think it was. They'll just have a bad reputation and people won't deal with them. But that's simply not true. They might not deal with them on the top tier level power player scene. However, casual guys who don't know any better, which will in fact make up a larger player base in UW, I bet, up to mid-tier characters, they won't know. Not everybody reads Forum Fall. Not everybody is in the know, you know, about everybody's personal character or what they perceive it to be. And so I definitely think that having some sort of enforcement mechanic could be very helpful. You know, I mean, hell, in real life, we have enforcement mechanics. Those are called police powers. And I don't see anything wrong with having that in a game. That way it could make deals more binding and more profitable.
And not only that, I think the contract system may actually relate more to a clan kind of honor system as well.
Well, I don't really trust the honor system.
You look at the contract menu, like, this is how I feel it's going to be. You go in there, you see a bunch of clans that basically open to do contracts, other ones that have been already hired, and other ones that you've worked in the past and they didn't basically pay, or, you know, you didn't pay them, and you set little notes and that kind of thing. I think it's going to be pretty dynamic like that.
Okay, but dynamic as in this will be built into the code itself, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, two comments that came in the chat channel. Licidius says that it should enable, about the contract system, smaller clans to be players and make more money otherwise unavailable. And that's honestly what I'm hoping, not just for smaller clans, just for players in general, but absolutely. And then Wretch continues on saying it seems like every clan will position themselves as a merc clan. And that may be true, but the fact is, Wretch, if you're not, hey, good night, Damia, it's nice having you here, bro. If you are not, if you're a small clan, you're not a power clan, then think about this. You should be a mercenary clan. Let's think back to the feudal system. You know, if you want to even go ahead and look at a Game of Thrones, okay, that's close enough to the truth of history in terms of, you know, you have your bannermen. Okay, that's where I was going with this, and I just want to use that term because it's a little easier. So if you're an alliance or you're sort of sub-guilded to a more powerful guild, i.e. their bannermen, then you know, you can merc out that way. And you know, maybe somebody will say, oh, well, that's supposed to be loyalty in your alliance, so we're not paying. Fine, fuck it, you're not a bannerman. You're just going to be one of these small guilds out on the periphery of the game. But this does add a mechanic where you can say, hey, well, this is a chance for our 10-man group who's semi-active to make some coin in a different way, aside of grinding on mobs or engaging in PvP because we get spanked, we're only 10 dudes. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with a ton of people being...
I'm in the same boat. I think it'll really help those smaller clans, especially ones that are antisocial and that just want to do the merc work and don't want to have to sift through like 2 hours of talking to some, you know, nasally fucking teenager about getting mercenary work when he's like doesn't want to even pay you to begin with.
Yeah, and the upside also to this system is we're just talking about it, and this is where I'm really trying to dig into people's fucking melons and pull out more ideas, because the devs have more ideas. They've alluded to as much that this isn't just going to be just a merc system for clans. They had alluded to other uses that they intend to be implemented. And my God, they're definitely, if you have a contract system in place that is abstract enough, yet is effective in making the payer and the payee fulfill their obligations, I mean, you could do some shit. I don't know if you remember back in development, but people were talking about sending others out on bounties, and you know, there's even the discussion
send out
of
bounty hunters for like, let's say I put $1 million bounty on Dragonade's head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a bunch of people going out hunting that cunt down.
There's some real world hate stewing here. I love it. You know, but yeah, absolutely. You know, these
oh, hey,
contracts...
Wingless. Yeah, that's one of my crew. And he's like, he just said hell yes when I said hunt down Dragonheed. So yeah, good fun.
There, I guess this guy. See there, and there you go. Here's a guy who I didn't know he had a bad name until talking to you and Wingless here, Wingless Leet. You know, I didn't even know, and that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, guys who are casual gamers to mid-tier gamers, they're not going to know exactly what's going on with every bit of politics in the game because we don't all have the time that we that can spend on it. And I'm not even saying anything bad. Anybody who spends all their time on fucking Darkfall, hey, that's awesome. If that's where you derive your joy from life, and that's a great thing. I actually, you know, whether I derive my joy from that or not.
They just might not have the time to stay awake when this other person they need to talk to is online, and they literally can't do it. They can't stay awake that late, and that's why I think a bounty contract kind of system would be really beneficial for this game.
Exactly. And they could take it to deeper depths too. So I'm looking forward to, if anybody in the chat channel has any other ideas to develop around this, I'd be curious. You know, just guessing, that's about as deep as I go on the guesswork with the bounties and just seeing this as a solid deal altogether. But if anybody has actually put some thought into this or even has some inside information, I would be curious to know what that is, and I hope the devs release that soon. All right, let's look here. So moving on to my notes. Okay, feats, we kind of talked about that. Seems like you hadn't seen too much in the way of feats. And by the way, when you were out, we did discuss this. beta cakes, fucking wretch. We did discuss feats earlier when you were gone, and it's pretty much all from what was mentioned on DF stuff with a dev tracker put out 5 days ago by Unoldor. So that's where we're at with that. Oh yeah, and the latest skirmisher video. What are your thoughts on that?
The brawler?
Yes.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Why?
Well, I think just the way that they're actually implementing the skills and the different abilities that all the roles can have access to, and because you have a primary and secondary role, I don't think balancing all these are going to be such an issue.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? Whenever you force people into little slots, then you have to balance, and that traditionally is an issue, at least in some point, because there's, dude, you can't do it right. You can't. In fact, you could be God. You could be ruler of the universe, okay? And somebody says, I don't fucking believe in God. I don't fucking care. Follow the analogy, douche. Okay, so you could be God, fucking supreme being, and you like know everything. You fucking do all the math in your head. You know what everybody's gonna do, and you're like, I make these fucking slots, and these are these classes and roles, and these are good. And then you rest on the fucking 7th day or whatever. Okay, so that's nice. You're always gonna have somebody bitch about it. How about when Battlebrand came out? I didn't read too deep on the forums, but Battlebrand right off the bat, people were like, oh fuck, OP, oh shit. I'm like, douchebags. We haven't even seen half the shit in terms of roles in this game, and you're saying
it's like you got an invulnerability for, I think it was about 7 seconds. Then you look at the brawler and he can jump across a fucking chasm.
Yeah, so Battlebrand is chasing Brawler. Brawler does a fucking winged angel hop, like a Chris Angel fucking Evil Knievel deal. Boom, and he's across a fucking chasm of death. And you're telling me, oh yeah, Battlebrand, he's gonna fucking fall down, do his insta-shield and fucking
he's
land.
He's totally overpowered. He put on his god mode before he breaks his legs.
Good, he's at the bottom of the fucking Grand Canyon. Now what?
Well, that being said too, I think just how they have designed the game, everyone has access to magic spells, you know, common pools of magic and archery and melee. I think it wouldn't be so bad, you know, the brawler jumps across that chasm of death. If I'm that Battlebrand, I'm just like, alright, you know, take out my bow, start shooting.
Dude, okay, the guy's on the other side of the Grand Canyon, fucking 5 miles high. Okay, let me ask you this. Maybe you guys, maybe in the chat, maybe you know this yourself, Gestas. Okay, the Battlebrand, when he casts that God Shield. And by the way, keep in mind, we're seeing development video, guys, but I want to know, who knows this? What's the recast timer on that? Do you know this, Gestas?
I don't, but I'd guess it would be something like at least 5 minutes.
Do you? Okay, 5 minutes.
Maybe not that much.
So you
I'm not sure.
so you're guessing, right?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely guessing.
Okay, so this is my point. Nobody on the forums actually knows, and if
yeah,
they
no
say
one
no,
fucking knows. Why are we all bitching?
Look.
We should just go, that looks fucking cool.
Yeah, and if they say, oh, no, look at the forum, see this thing, there it goes, it's moving around real quick, the recast timer is fucking 0. Well, this is in development. You know, fucking coders, they have to
they removed the cooldown for the video.
So you're right, so you can quickly reenact situations and scenarios, so there's a reason for that. So if there is,
so they're not sitting there for like 3 hours in a night just trying to make a video so they can get the correct thing going.
Okay, and Cypher mentions he doesn't care about the invuln, he cares about the reflect. Okay, what is it? What's the recast on the reflect? I mean, what if, I'm just going to make this up, dude, and obviously I'm playing devil's adversary somewhere here, but the reflect, what if it's a 10-minute recast? Are you so scared of the reflect? Okay, and here Wingless Leet says reflect will still be OP. I don't see it. So
no, he's fucking with you. As I said, Wingless is one of my crew. He's just trolling.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. Until we know...
Ignore Wingless.
Until we know the exact amount, and we will not actually have intimate knowledge of this until the game releases, but until we know how much of your resources it depletes in terms of reagents, stamina, mana, health, whatever, to use certain spells, everything is just guesswork. That's all this is.
Oh yeah, and not even that. That being said, too, man, spell reflect's gonna be overpowered. Don't fucking shoot it in then.
Yeah, you see, yeah, exactly. If you see somebody you suspect is a battle brand, maybe do something else. But you know, I'll tell you what. The way I see this right now, and I could be wrong. I can always be wrong. That's 100% true. But what I usually see is the mob. They're like, oh fuck, let's do this template and this and that because overpowered, and people do it and they play it to great effect. However, something that always is true. Then people move on to these other thoughts and these other templates and like, oh, this is fucking better. And, you know, we really saw this in Shadowbane. You see it in every game, but it was so obvious in Shadowbane, you know, between tank locks and then the magic warlocks, you know, doing some other spin on it. And then just the confessors. Yeah, you know, people, you know what? You could be right, Cyphrin and Wingless Elite, you fucking troll. But, you know, I don't know. We're not going to know until this actually releases. And,
And that being said, too, man, it's an MMO. MMOs get balanced over time.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But that's, you know, earlier, I thought you said something about, I don't know, the balance being easy or there won't be much of it. And I mean, there's always going to be balance because somebody's, and this is where I was going to originally, somebody's always going to cry. Somebody's always going to fucking complain, even if it's right on. And by the way,
my W key flew out of my keyboard and I was making coffee and noodles. Fucking such a scrub, you know.
Well, they
50k duel, bro.
No, they can't win. And, you know, Zerlock...
Yeah, I'm just saying, people are always going to complain about something.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Zerlock, by the way, I do agree. So if I'm coming off kind of hard and anti-people fucking bitch and complain, I'm anti the bitch and complain. I'm not anti the speculation saying, so if somebody says, you know what, right now I'm seeing this as overpowered, I watched this and here's why I think that. And, you know, it's going to be rough for them to come up with a class that can actually compete with that. That's fine. However, that's not normally the form that the discussion takes. And I think you know that. And I'm totally in to the speculation. And you're absolutely right. When Darkfall was in development, the game was driven by mass speculation. And it was a lot of fun. And it was also funny because some of the speculation didn't pan out to be true or some of the promises didn't happen. And, you know, as a result, people were brokenhearted when the game released. But I agree. I'm totally into the speculation and how I expect them to act. I really don't care. They can act however they want. You know, but here I am. I come off as dramatically opposed. But in the reality, you know, when I hang up the headset here or I'm not playing, I don't give it a fucking second thought. However, when we're in the heat, it's very fun to talk about. That's why we do these casts. That's why we engage in forum fall. So maybe, you know, I don't want to say maybe I'm wrong on that account because here I am being just vigorous in the opposition. But I suppose I would like to see more intellectual discussions versus, oh, this shit's OP, fuck, I'm not playing. You know, that's the stuff I can't stand. That's kind of where I'm going with this.
I wholeheartedly concur. It's like I've been trying to create threads and what have you, trying to discuss even like investigating our ammo. I created that thread. Screw this comes in. Shut up, you fucking 12-year-old. Oh my god, it's overpowered. Dude, I was just like, speculation, you know?
Yeah. And there's a lot of that. Speculation is fun. It's just when people become whiny bitches. And by the way, see, APOC TV just dropped in. Everybody, right now, go to his site, leave this one now, and follow him. That's a solid thing to do. What else here? What else? Okay, Dreadlord Cripey. Let me just address this. Okay, so a few people, Cypher already addressed you, so I'm not going to address you again. But Dreadlord Cripey was a fucking prince and offered to stand in last minute when we weren't sure if Gestas was going to be able to return from his errands. And Gestas, unbeknownst to you, I think, like 1 minute before you showed up, I said, if he's not back in 3 minutes, then we'll bail on him and he and I will do one later and we'll get you on the show because that would have been 30 minutes in. So to answer Cyphrin and anybody else who's asking about Dreadlord Cripey, Supreme General of the Gentlemen, he will not be joining us this evening, but hopefully he will be joining us soon. You know, I've got a few guys I'm trying to squeeze in before UW's release. He's one of them. Paragus Rance, who's sitting in the channel, he's another one. Got to get his ass in here. And a couple other guys. And I'm really trying to schedule this all, so appreciate your patience on that. Okay, about this skirmisher video, let's just return to that. One thing you did not mention, and if you did, then, you know, I missed it. Dude, the dive roll, is that not cool, or am I just fucking being dumb?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. What I really want to know is, can you still shoot them when they're doing that dive?
Dude, I bet you can. I'm feeling...
Knowing adventuring, yeah, I reckon we still can.
My guess, and here's that speculation, my guess is when somebody's in dive roll, basically their hitbox is reduced by 2/3 or something. So now their hitbox is 1/3 of what it was before. And so you just have to adjust fire and hit them when they're down there. However, it's very quick to adjust fire because the roll is a quick thing. However, when used, if you're Twitch and you use it at the right time, especially if there's not a huge recast on it, my God, I think we might be seeing some fucking rollers. Because imagine, you're playing a game, and if you're really good at it, you can reduce your hitbox anytime you want to 1/3 its original size. So if you're fucking Twitch, you can use that to great advantage. And if you're not, like me, then you know you're probably not going to roll a skirmisher or whatever that, a brawler.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that the Elementalist schools are going to have some larger AoEs. I feel that Fire is more a knockback school, like a CC school than anything.
Yeah,
So we haven't seen yet is any large AoEs. We haven't seen any.
Yeah, and there's definitely, I mean, there's a lot we haven't seen yet, and I can't wait to see. I guess it's the Primalist, the healing class. I totally want to see it. My plan right now is to either play a warrior or a healer. I kind of want to play support. I feel like there's a lot of action going on in a healing support role if the developers allow for it. Originally in Darkfall, I wanted to play a healer, you know, a bit of time, but obviously with the skills and spells I have in Darkfall, playing a healer really wasn't going to pan out. But it looks like it's possibly going to be a more viable option. I mean, they dedicated an entire role to it. So I'm looking forward to that, you know, buffs, debuffs, and some healings. I think that could be a really good time.
Yeah, I think, like, pain, like life and pain, life being the primary healing one, pain being the primary damage one, then you got law and chaos. I think that's going to be, as you said, like a lot of debuffs and kind of like utility kind of class and heals and all that stuff. So it's looking really good. I personally am going to be playing a Primalist Chaos Primary.
And what do you think goes into that?
I'm thinking they're going to make a Waff Wall of Force, but they're going to change it. Call it something like a Singularity or something, make that the Chaos Ultimate. Something like that I feel is going to be in the Chaos tree.
And what would your secondary skill be? I mean, obviously you're just speculating on stuff.
Probably, yeah, speculation, probably life.
Probably what?
Life. So Chaos Primary, secondary life.
And what are you hoping? Because obviously we know jack shit about the Primalist. Now, what do you think it might be in the life? Because there's only 5.
I'm thinking it's going to be like a Witch's Brew, maybe a Sacrifice or something in there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. And my bet is that we'll see one Friday. If I had to bet, and I will bet, I'll bet you a nickel.
Yeah, I'll take that bet. I reckon we're going to see Primalist this Friday.
Is there anything else in the recent UW videos that you saw that you've been wanting to comment on?
Too many things.
Like what? Start off, dude. That's why we're here.
Berserk, the map, specifically, the reduced oceans and everything, that is going to be badass for pirates.
Dude, okay, so the whole ocean and river and naval navigations and whatnot, I am totally curious what they're going to do with that. I mean, obviously, here we are. Launch is what, like 2 weeks away or so? Is that about right? And
12 days.
12 days. Okay, so there you go. And just under 2 weeks, and they're not going to, at least according to the original plan, launch with the large ships that we've grown accustomed to, because they're trying to work over some of the dynamics and the ways that ships work. And when I was talking to Snow White about this, it sounds like there's quite a bit they can do to really enhance naval warfare. And I feel like she didn't even begin to touch on the cusp of it, yet she did offer some insight. So I am kind of excited about what is coming down the pipe with naval warfare. It's unfortunate they can't launch with it. Do you have any speculation on your end what they might be doing?
Not speculation. I just think it's going to be really cool that we have a submarine now.
Okay, I am unaware of the submarine. Please fill me in.
Wait. Okay. Hang on. I'll bring it up right now.
Okay, no bullshitting me. That's rule number one, dude. I spent a whole
This is on the Sandboxer, collected from the forums.
It's on the sandboxer. What is that? .net.com.
1 second.
All right. So you pull that up. I'm definitely curious about naval warfare. You know, if they're not going to have it at launch, then I'm expecting something big. And, you know, admittedly, the biggest I got into naval warfare is my original goal was to build a raft in Darkfall. Like when I got in, since I was pretty much rolling solo, occasionally had some friends. I'm like,
it in chat for everyone. That's a collection of information from the spotlights and Q&As and everything.
And this
I'll
takes us.
just read quickly the boat right now for you.
Do it.
Find it. Ships, here we go. Ships. There are some new ships to be crafted, as well as a mastery version of the skill. The mastery skill will open up a new ships aimed at naval warfare, speed, armor, layout, and maneuverability. All features giving each ship its own area of expertise. All ships will be crafted using an NPC holding workbenches, blah blah blah. There is a fishing trawler, which is used strictly for fishing. The ship has only one cannon on the back, and you can only fish with this particular ship. And all fishing equipment has been removed from other ships. Now we go on. The launch ship is a smaller ship, can be used by smaller parties to participate in naval combat. The coastal runner has no cannons. It's easily the fastest ship for carrying goods and transporting people, etc. Then you have another ship is the Sea Scraper. This ship acts like a underwater submarine, scraping across the bottom of the ocean. This ship moves slowly, but can uncover hidden treasures and bring them to the surface. Siege equipment and mount crafting are receiving similar reworkings.
Okay. All right. Well, I've not seen this Sea Scraper officially mentioned. However, perhaps it's very possible I read over it. Do you remember seeing this on a site outside of the Sandboxer, or did they submit some questions to AV and this is something they came back with? Do you know?
No. Sandboxer is basically he's gone from all the spotlights and just compiled them all into one big list.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know. That'll be interesting. That'll be a little trip jumping in a Sea Scraper. I'll tell you what. I was telling my story about what I was looking forward to originally in Darkfall, which was basically to build a raft. That was my first goal. And when I did get a raft, I've told this story before. I headed out to sea with a guy named Hans Reiser and APOC. And so we were just going around the seas by Rubaiyat because there was this sunken ruin that I was convinced would have been an inlet, if you will, into an underwater dungeon. In development, the devs said there would definitely be underwater content.
I think I know the one you're talking about, and there's an island next to it that has like tigers on it.
Yes, the one with the tigers, exactly. And the ruins, the sunken ruins, look like something you might see in Lord of the Rings with Gondor, those massive statues and whatnot. So we went over there. I manned the raft. Hans and APOC, they deep dove dealing with those dudes that drop pearls. What do you call those little creatures? I forget. But manatees, or not manatees, but whatever they are. Anyway, they went all over down there in nothing. So my heart was broken, and I think at that point I realized there is no underwater content in Darkfall. However, it would have been really nice to have a submarine at that point in time.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and I am fully expecting underwater content here. I definitely am. You know, they mentioned development. There's something that's been on their radar, and if we're able to talk to them, that's one thing I want to ask them is, do we have underwater content?
Yeah, that's something I'd like to know too. But if you noticed, with the recently released pictures of the new boats and what have you, there are actual banners on the boats.
You know, I did not notice, and I wonder what the mechanic is behind that. If it, like
I'm hoping it's a clan banner. Make our own banners and everything. that's what they were talking about when they were first developing the game. So hopefully they put that in.
You know, I was surprised.
Mind blowing.
I was surprised they didn't have clan tabards in at first or capes. You know, you said that you played Star Wars Galaxy and Darkfall. One of the games I played a while ago is Dark Ages of Camelot. In that game, and maybe you could do it in
played
World
that
of
one
Warcraft.
too.
What's that?
Played Dark Age of Camelot too.
Oh, okay. Well, in that game, and like I said, I think you could do it in WoW too. I just can't recall clearly. But in Dark Age, you can make a clan tabard, and so people could see your crest and identify you visually as somebody they should attack or not, aside of the Darkfall mechanic wherein you set your reticle over, you know, a character and see their color. And I always thought there would be tabards, and I thought there was discussion at one point of even having it on, you know, on shields and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be
great.
There
was on shields, tabards, capes, cloaks, and actual flags that you could have bannermen holding that gave area buffs to people. And on ships. And warhawks as well.
I will be totally psyched if that makes it into release.
If that makes it in, yeah. Hopefully just put Goatsy on a flag and we'll get to it.
Yeah. No kidding. And, you know, while we're on this topic, I just have to say, I was reading something on...
That's a good point, Resh. Yeah.
I was reading something on EverQuestNext.com today. You know, EverQuest Next is supposed to be a game where they have the first AAA built sandbox game with, I believe they're supposed to be Conquest. I can't recall clearly, but they're really going for the sandbox, allegedly. And one of the things I read today is that there's speculation, or it was said at one point, that the developers plan on including an option where you can take a picture of your face and upload that to be the face of your character. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I can.
You know,
it's horrible.
Obviously, I imagine a lot of dickheads and stuff like that. But, you know, that could...
Some guy with, like, a hamburger and all types of shit.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe there'll be some sort of face recognition software where it's like there must be a valid nose, eyes. I mean, who really cares? Because ultimately, you know, people are wearing helmets. You can't see the face anyway. Sure, what I'm thinking is if they could do that, which I don't see why they can't. And in fact, shoot, dude, didn't they do something like that in Shadowbane for your crest in Shadowbane? Wasn't there something where you actually got to design your logo and upload it?
Familiar.
Well, I thought there was something like that. I can't recall clearly, but yeah, that's definitely something that we can do with technology, and I think it'd be great if people could at least upload their own logos and clan design, you know, to give it a very unique look and feel.
Oh yeah, it would be good.
All right, so dude, what else? Any other thoughts on Unholy Wars? And if not, then tell us how you plan on rolling in. What's your current configuration with your clan and whatnot?
Well, right now... Wait, let me think. Anything to add to Unholy Wars aside from... No, aside from the fact I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I think we're just gonna try and create critical mass for my clan that I'm leading as a dictator. But I'm also, as I said to you the other day, a total pimp. You know, I'm trying to pimp out my members, give them the best gear, best, you know, gameplay they can have, best, you know, experience with the game.
So tell us about your clan configuration, numbers, and how it's going to be run in general, as far as you're able to tell right now. Naturally, things change once the game launches.
As for numbers, I'd say we've got about 15, 20 people interested in it. And we've been talking to, well, I've been talking to Grief, Sinister, Desperate Housewives, Sea Serpents, and a couple other clans. Hopefully we'll get Battle Saints on board as well.
Do you have any solid clans lined up currently?
Sea Serpents. That's about it. And probably Desperate Housewives as well.
Now, why would DHW take you guys on? What's your claim to fame? What are you going to give them?
Nothing besides Gestas' love.
Okay, will DHW be run by the likes of Jonah Vale, Inevitable Enix? You know, who's going to be in it, or are they making a whole different showing here?
Oh, I'm not sure. I basically got a couple friends in Desperate Housewives, so I've got my foot in the door, basically.
All right, and then what? You said you're going to be a dictator, yet let
Yes.
your players be pimps. How does that work out?
Well, my job as clan leader is to provide the best gaming experience, atmosphere, and gear for my clan members. I'm not going to be taxing my members because I think it's retarded. You know, everyone give me loot so I make my character better, whereas I have a database of every single member in my clan and I know what their PvE or PvE. No, I'm not trolling. I'll actually read out the list of things I want people to write for me.
Oh yeah, go on.
Race, morality, so you're good or evil, your preferred role and your preferred school in that role, and your PvE and PvP lean, if you're a crafter or not, and that's pretty much the info I need to know.
Now, a lot of that seems like it's very elastic to some degree, that people will, you know, that you might say you're going to be this or that, but it turns out you want to kind of stretch in a different direction. You know, I'm telling you I'm a wizard, but then I play as a warrior. So I guess what I'm getting at here is how do you find value in that information so before the game even
It's
launches?
just preferred.
What's that?
It's just preferred.
Okay. And what do you do with that?
Battle groups, things for sieges, and if they're staying for that, I know what to actually craft and, you know, what gear people need and what our crafters need to craft for the actual PvPs and what have you.
Okay, so day one, you set foot. 15 of your dudes log in. It's sweet. You all have boners. Life is good. What's the first thing you do?
We go to our old dungeon spot and farm up a shitload of gold, pop the clan down, and go for the holding that we're looking at taking.
All right, allow me to burst bubbles, and in a way, I hope this does burst a bubble. But I am under the impression that the landscape as we know it has changed. That the placement of, let's say, Shoal, for example,
all the cities have been renamed. Yeah, my old spot's going to be gone, but the goal is to go there in the hopes something might still be there.
They put a fucking desert there with no
Yeah,
mobs.
a fucking desert with a tree.
Yeah, you know, like when Darkfall first released, there were fewer mob spawns or they'd be broken. Remember that? Remember you log into Darkfall and it'd be like, I don't know, 2 a.m. and there'd be no mobs across the fucking western seaboard or whatever? I can just see it. Happens in UW. Everybody gets in. They're ready for action. So what else, dude? Before we wrap this cast up, is there anything else that you want to bring
there,
to
APOC.
What's that?
APOC saying that's his plan, go there and hope something is there. Well, yeah, I mean, that was our old gold farming spot. So why wouldn't we attempt to go back to our old gold farming spot and see how it's changed?
Okay, so if your gold farming spot is not there and APOC is standing there naked with a leaf blade, what do you do?
Try and have erotic roleplay with him.
Try to have a what?
Erotic roleplay.
So seriously, what would you do though? So you know, you show up, nothing's there. What's plan two? Because we can pretty much expect that there won't be dungeons and cities, villages where we would normally expect them to be in Darkfall 1.
Well, if the plan is pretty much go to the old spot, if you know everything's changed and what have you, well, we go for an adventure, find a new spot, start training, getting drip for the new system, and just have fun with the game.
How quickly do you start killing other players?
Goblin spawn after we leave town.
You see Screwloose wandering just on the periphery of the safe zone.
Oh fuck, I might as well
happens?
just download hacks.
What?
I'll just download hacks if I see that cunt in game.
All right, dude. Anything else that you're looking forward to in Unholy Wars before we wrap this cast up?
Really, just how the Primalist roles are going to look, how they're actually going to function. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I need to see that.
Yeah, and as I am prognosticating, I bet you money, a nickel, it's coming out Friday. So hopefully we see that. If you have nothing else to add, I'm going to wrap this cast. So I'm going to give you the last word, and then I'll wrap. And then after that, if you could just hang out, I'll talk to you briefly offline, and then we'll part ways. So give us the final word.
I have an entire story written up. It's all about Dragonheed.
Whatever the last word you want, do it.
I'll give it a second.
So he's going to read us or tell us a story about Dragonheed. Those who missed it earlier, Dragonheed was his original guild leader who treated him like shit, treated him like an abused woman, and he hung around for 2 years taking it before he didn't. So that's who Dragonheed is. And we'll get a story on him. Maybe we'll get Dragonheed on here to refute that at a future point.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd be able to trace route him.
Real world hate. You've got to appreciate that.
Oh, it isn't actually about Dragonheed. It's about his real-life friends, who was a couple, basically guy and a girl, and she was the crafter. I had about a year's worth of skinning mats. She was almost finished her enchanting. Dragonheed basically had all the money from selling all those cities. I give her my enchanting mats. I see nothing back from it. And that's when the drama basically started happening.
Yeah, that can be pretty raw. Anything else to add to that, or should we take some questions from the chat room and then wrap the cast?
Just basically a shout out to a couple people. I'd say Quintet, Gluttony, basically, and Goblin Scout and Goblin Shaman.
You know, I spoke to one of Goblin Shaman's minions a while ago, and we had him on, heard about some griefing and how they roll. Pretty pretty mean stuff, to be honest. So, all right, guys, do you have anything in the chat room that you want to ask? You're talking about child name, anything you want to say, any smack talk you want to deliver in relation to UW? What happens when you see each other naked? Pixelated. Let's see. APOC says, Quintet's a nice dude. Ryan Quintet's like 90% duped copy of Ed. Oh, dude, don't even say that. We should get Ed then and Quintet in the same vent or mumble and fucking watch the universe implode then. Is this guy also around Ed's age, though? Is he, is he 60, 70 right in there? Oh, man. Oh, man. APOC, you need to... Oh, my God, he is APOC. You need to bring this match together. Let me tell you where you can find Ed once we launch. We will be hanging, for the most part, on the sandbox.mmosmacktalk.com, their Mumble, which if you go to their page, you'll see the Mumble tool in the upper right, that app. You just click on that. If you have Mumble, it'll plug you right in. So that's where we should be hanging. So you need to get these two connected. That could be a funny thing. And for those of us that appreciate the likes of our buddy Ed, there are some people that appreciate him and some people that don't, and those that don't, I actually don't understand it. But we definitely need to hook Quintet up with him. That would be a sweet thing. And you guys listening, you have no fucking idea. I did a cast with Ed a while ago. I have to get him on another cast. Some people said that first cast I did with him was kind of boring. But like I said, Ed either rubs you right or he rubs you wrong. And so I'll have to get him on again. And those who appreciate the Eds and Quintets of this world, you'll love it. DF Pawn, you're going to just fall in love all over again. It'll be like when you played Left 4 Dead 2 with me and I had the lowest score nonstop by a mile. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this cast up. I want to say to Gestas, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate your time and all the running around you had to do at the beginning. I totally know how that happens. Things in real life do occur, and I just appreciate you coming to hang out here on the cast with us. Everybody enjoyed it. Specifically, if I could put the words in Oltu's mouth, Oltu definitely enjoyed you. Perhaps afterwards you guys can exchange emails and become BFFs, right?
Yeah, I'll send him a picture of my cock.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Charlie Manson, thank you for coming into the Skype and filling in.
And before we do wrap this up, I want to ask you something, Ryan.
Yeah,
when UW releases, who are you rolling with?
Oh, well, you know what? That's a tricky question. First off, primarily I'm rolling with, once again, the Sandbox podcast. It's if you go to mmosmacktalk.com, you'll see the Sandbox. Go there, click on that, get crazy, listen to Cool It and Quinn's cast. I'll be rolling with those guys. Cool It's put together a clan of 10 to 30. However, with that being said, it's a very loose affiliation, kind of a gentle brotherhood. On top of that, I hope to connect definitely with APOC, who's going to train my balls into being a warrior of steel. And that's going to be a good time, you know, so whenever he can pass on some elitism to me, I want to cash in on that as well. There are some other guys that have offered some assistance and training and various experiences so that I could take them into the podcast, and I plan to gobble all of that up. So my primary core will be with Cool It and gang, but once that falls apart, if it does, if there's attrition, then, you know, I'm going to kind of figure it out there with my contacts and see what's happening.
Sounds good, man. Well, yeah. Apart from that, I'd suggest just anyone interested, check out my clan, Horror Show. I'm going to attempt to try and make my members good at the game.
Excellent, dude. Well, you should drop Horror Show the link into the chat channel there and to your website. I will try to remember. I hope I don't fail. Skype it to me if I forget the link, and I'll add it with the show notes here. So with that, guys, Ryan is going Euros. I'm not going to you. DF Pun, I'm not doing that. I need my fucking ping. Dude, I'm so bad at Darkfall. I need every point of ping I can get. And this time with Darkfall Unholy Wars, I'm rolling in with Fat Pipe and Hot Computer. APOC hooked me up with the specs I need for a nice computer. I picked out the case, which I want to fucking put under my pillow because I love it. It's the Cool Master Trooper. It's a beautiful thing. If you want a fucking case that you can get your hands in and really work your computer like it's a car, you want that one. And then also, you know, I got this Fat Pipe 50 down, 5 up. My life is good. It's not quite up to DF Pawn's measurements, but it's going to be good enough, so I'm going to fucking rock people with no excuse. Specs. Dude, I will link the specs in the show notes, Negs. So if you check out my website, blog.mmosmacktalk.com, within the next day or so when I post this cast, I'll have it up there, and we can all just salivate. And by the way, about my specs, it's not the most expensive machine out there, but it's fucking solid. I mean, APOC scrutinized what I needed for solid streaming and perfect gameplay, and this is excellence in motion right here, and it didn't cost that much. I can't remember how much. I want to say like, ooh, I don't even want to lie. I want to say like $800. Does that kind of ring true, APOC? It's something like that, and it's fucking solid. With that, I will post those specs. I appreciate all of you guys coming and joining me here. Charlie Manson, thanks for dropping by. You know, you're in there for 5 minutes filling in the dead space. Much appreciate that. Okay. APOC said I paid $1,300, then we're going to go with that. My memory's always horrible on that. Thanks for joining. I look forward to doing the next cast. It should be this upcoming Saturday with Expire and Zafix. That's going to be a good time, and we'll keep you guys updated. Until then, enjoy your gaming, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.